There are still 5 more available character slots in Smash Ultimate's Fighter Pass number 2, but how likely is it that we'll see a Tales of character fill one of those slots? Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Vytera TV, where we talk about Nintendo and anime games. Many fan bases at the moment are clamoring for their franchises to receive some type of representation in Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the Tales of fan base is included. I'm really one of those people that would really love to see some Tales of character in Smash Brothers. And you guys know that the rumor mill is always spinning. For example, in 2019, people saw that Bandai Namco had trademarked a new set of Tales of logos, and people thought that this meant that we were getting a Tales of character in Smash. It ended up being used for the 25th anniversary of the Tales of franchise. The English voice actor for Lloyd Irving, Scott Menville, also posted on his Twitter account last year saying that he had just finished working on a very interesting project for which he had to sign an NDA for, and we still have no idea what that project actually was, but hearing that from Lloyd Irving's voice actor, man, the Tales of fans started wishing, they started dreaming. But today I don't want to spend time talking about rumors. I want to talk about solid facts about the Tales of franchise as a whole, and also take a look at how Sakurai has chosen some recent DLC characters and gauge from that the likelihood of seeing some type of Tales of rep in Smash. But before we jump into it, if you guys end up getting value from this video, please don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and the bell button to receive notifications of when new videos on Nintendo and anime games go live on the channel next. So this discussion is going to be focused on 2 points. First, I want us to take a look at the popularity of the Tales of franchise globally, and 2, we really need to consider the actual viability of the characters in Tales of. Is it likely that Tales of characters would work in a fighting game such as Smash Bros? So let's talk about the popularity of the Tales of franchise. Now, all of us know that ever since its beginnings with Tales of Fantasia back in 1995, the Tales of series really has seen a rise in popularity globally. As a matter of fact, Jeremy Parish, gaming journalist of OneUp.com, said in 2006 that he believes that the Tales franchise is quite arguably Japan's 3rd biggest RPG series, right after Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. The question is, does Parish's quote still hold up today in 2020? One way that we can really look at the popularity of a franchise globally is, of course, to take a look at the raw numbers. How many units has a gaming franchise sold? In 2019, it was reported that Tales of had sold 20 million units worldwide ever since its inception. That in itself is such a huge feat, and I think that that speaks volumes to the global popularity of Tales of as a franchise. But of course, whenever it comes to numbers, we do have to look at things in context. Now, if we focus on specifically Japanese role-playing games, we'll see Tales of currently sits in 7th place. But I want to bring in the Persona series. We did see Persona representation in Super Smash Bros. Through the playable character Joker. But what's really interesting to note is that the Persona franchise globally has sold 11 million units worldwide as of 2019. Now, this number is nothing to scoff at. That in itself is a huge success, but when you compare that to the Tales of franchise, that is quite the difference. But what about the sister series of the Persona franchise, Megami Tensei? Well, as of 2017, that has sold 7,200,000 units globally, and again, it's nothing to scoff at, but if you were to combine the sales of both the Persona franchise and the Megami Tensei franchise, they still don't quite reach the amount of units sold of the Tales of franchise. Now, one important thing to note here is that yes, while Tales of has sold more units globally than Persona and Megami Tensei combined, there's still the fact that Tales of has many more main titles than Persona and Megami Tensei, so there is also that to consider. But really, this is more for the purpose of providing context when speaking to how popular Tales of is nowadays. Let's go ahead and take a look at yet another JRPG franchise, the Fire Emblem franchise. You'll see that even though Fire Emblem is one of Nintendo's very own franchises, it still doesn't beat Tales of when it comes to units sold. And what's interesting is that Fire Emblem has released nearly the same amount of main titles as the Tales of series. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to Tales of popularity is just how popular the franchise is in Japan specifically. Really, when it comes to popularity, it's most popular in Japan. Now, one really interesting thing that I found is that for both May and June 2020, when taking a look at Famitsu's poll, which asks readers which games they are most looking forward to, Tales of Arise sat at the very top for these 2 months, even above Breath of the Wild. You've also got the fact that in Japan, you've got all sorts of media for Tales of, such as the drama CDs, as well as anime. Really, Tales of is represented in different forms of media, and I think that that speaks volumes to how popular the Tales of franchise is in Japan. So in my opinion, I think that the Tales of franchise has already reached that certain threshold for Sakurai to even consider including a Tales of character. I mean, he already included Lloyd Irving as a Mii outfit back during the Smash 4 days, so it's not a series that is too small to be considered giving the representation treatment in Smash Bros. Ultimate. However, don't get too excited because popularity is not the only thing that Sakurai and Nintendo consider. One other thing is actual fighter viability. Are the characters that are being considered actually viable for a 2D fighter game such as Super Smash Bros? Now, to give you a good example of this, there was a time when Sakurai was considering Tekken's Heihachi. Tekken is a very popular fighting franchise. As a matter of fact, I'd argue that it's even more popular than the SNK series from which Terry Bogard comes from, and we all know that Terry was added as a DLC character, right? But even though Heihachi is very popular, even though he is from a fighting game, Sakurai ended up not including him because he realized that his moveset wouldn't really work for Smash Bros. Thankfully, when taking a look again at the Tales of franchise, I do believe that each of these characters have unique movesets to them. For example, each of these characters has their own set of unique arts that I really feel like could work in Smash. But not only that, I feel like characters from Tales of would work in a 2D fighter game such as Super Smash Bros. Because Tales of really has a 2D battle system. I mean, sure, nowadays you see the circular arena around which the characters can free run, but if you're not holding the free run button in games such as Tales of the Abyss or Tales of Vesperia, for example, really, it's a linear battle system. Interestingly enough, the official name for the Tales of battle system is the Linear Motion Battle System, or LMBS for short. So with that in mind, if a good number of the Tales of characters could be considered viable for Smash Bros, which one among the many Tales of characters would really fit the bill for Smash Ultimate? People could go on and on for days about this. There are so many great characters, and when it comes to which characters to include, I really think that it has to be a protagonist. For example, take a look at the DLC characters that were most recently added. You've got Joker, who was the protagonist for his game, Persona 5. You've got Banjo and Kazooie. You've got Terry Bogard. Really, when it comes to DLC characters that were added recently, Min Min is the only one who isn't the true protagonist of her franchise, but Spring Man is already included as an assist trophy, so in this case, there is an exception. And when it comes to protagonists, in my opinion, it has to be Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. Lloyd Irving, to me, has really become the face of Tales of, especially to many people who aren't so familiar with Tales of yet. And you also have to consider that Tales of Symphonia was not only the game that launched the popularity of the franchise here in the West, but it was also first released on a Nintendo system. You've also got the fact that he was already included as a Mii outfit, guys. And taking a look at an interview with Sakurai in which he talked about the inclusion of Lloyd as a Mii outfit, Sakurai simply said it had to be Lloyd in his eyes. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and include this really neat image that I found on Reddit, in which the user who uploaded it explained why they believed that Lloyd Irving was the most likely candidate for Tales of representation, and I'll go ahead and leave that link down in the description below, so give that a look, it's really interesting. And just like all the other Tales of characters, he's got his own unique set of arts, and I believe that his set of arts really makes sense for Super Smash Brothers. For example, you've got Demon Fang, which would work perfectly as his neutral special. Then you've got Sword Rain, which would work perfectly as his jab move. And then you've got Tempest, which I believe would work perfectly for his up special recovery move. Sure, in fairness, some of his moves may look pretty similar to the moves of some existing characters in Smash Bros, but I think that as a character, Lloyd could really work. But there is one big outlying issue when it comes to including Lloyd as a playable character. He is yet another swordsman. Yes, I know that people are sick of seeing all of the swordsmen in Super Smash Bros. As a matter of fact, even Sakurai himself admitted it through the Byleth trailer, in which Sothis said, another swordsman. One could argue that the issue is really the amount of Fire Emblem characters, but I also believe that people are kind of tired of seeing all of these swordsmen in Smash. So even though I believe that Lloyd Irving's popularity as well as his moveset really makes him one of the most likely characters characters to be included, chances are he may not be the one to receive the inclusion because of the fact that he is a swordsman. As a matter of fact, what really hurts the chances of Tales of receiving representation is the fact that a majority of the protagonists in Tales of are swordsmen. But let's go ahead and take a look at some protagonists that aren't swordsmen. You've got Senel from Tales of Legendia. No way is he making it in as a playable character. I'm sorry to you Legendia fans, there's no way that that's happening. You've got Jude from Tales of Xillia, which did receive a good amount of praise from fans and critics. But there's yet another protagonist who does not wield a sword and was most recently introduced to us in a very popular Tales of game, Tales of Berseria, and that is Velvet Crow. I honestly think that she as a character has garnered enough popularity within the fan base to warrant an inclusion in Smash Brothers if Tales of were to receive representation. You've also got the fact that Tales of Berseria is the most recently released title in the Tales of franchise, but not only that, it was generally well received by both fans and critics. And I believe that Tales of Berseria has become one of those titles that many new fans of the Tales of franchise may want to jump into if they're looking at the series for the very first time. I still have to play Tales of Berseria for myself, but the popularity of the title itself, I think, is reason enough for people interested in the franchise to look to that game first, especially because it's easily accessible on modern platforms as well as on Steam. So with all of those things in mind, if we're talking about which character is going to be represented in Smash Bros, I think that it really has to be either Lloyd Irving or Velvet Crow. So that was a lot of information about the Tales of franchise and Super Smash Bros, but those are some facts about the franchise, and it'll really kind of help us at least begin this discussion of, is Tales of likely to receive some form of representation, and if so, which character will be represented in Smash Bros. In conclusion, I think that with all of these things considered, Tales of still has a pretty good chance of receiving representation. I mean, again, Sakurai is Sakurai. He'll include whoever he wants, as a matter of fact. You guys remember that he was the one that included Piranha Plant. He's just so random sometimes. Of course, we all love him, but you can't deny the fact that he will do whatever it is that he wants. But if we were to judge based off of franchise popularity as well as the amount of viable characters to be included in Smash, I think that Tales of still has a pretty good shot. But what do you guys think? Like I said, I really want this video to be a discussion. I know that a lot of people in the Tales of fan base, for them, this really is a big discussion. Are we going to see some type of character in Smash Bros? But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that you guys took the time to watch. You guys can go ahead and click here to take a look at some of my latest Tales of videos where I talk about the latest Tales of news. And you can also click here to take a look at this Tales of video specifically that talks about the Tales of 25th anniversary, guys. Yes, 2020 is a big year for Tales of. It's the time to celebrate. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next video here on Vytera TV. But until then, you guys take care. Bye.